Podfic's Commentary Track for Lie Still and Break for a Dream's Sake, written by Charade 12 and read by kaisicle-podfics. This is produced as a treat for Annapods for ITPE 2024. This is not a chapter or continuation of the fic, but a meta-commentary track about my experiences making this podfic. As a reminder, I posted a version of this whole podfic with included music. I couldn't do that on YouTube for obvious reasons, but if you're interested in that, that is on the AO3 work page. Because of that, the Podfic's commentary on AO3 includes a breakdown of which songs I used, why I used them, and some of the runners-up. This commentary track cut that out because it's made this quite a bit longer and wasn't relevant for this version that was posted on YouTube without the music. This is going to be a little bit more casual. I'm kind of ad-libbing this. I have a lot of thoughts about this, and so the idea of making a commentary track never really occurred to me, so this is going to be a little bit different. I'm kind of stepping out of my comfort zone with this. I first picked this project without a lot of thinking about it first. The timeline of what happened was that I read Lie Still and Break, and I was also reading another fic by the same author. And I think I'd finished reading the most recently updated chapter of the other fic, and thought, man, I really love this author's style, and so I went back to their author page and I reread Lie Still and Break. And so I commented a very simple, I think it was reread kudos. And the author responded to me asking about what my favorite part of the fic was and thanking me for writing a reread kudos comment. And so I kind of just went ham on that comment. I really just spilled out all these feelings that this fic means so much to me. I actually cribbed part of that comment in my ending Podfic's notes on the end of the podfic, talking about how the ending, even though it's bittersweet, is probably one of my favorites because it has that very real and necessary lesson that things, it's kind of like that graphic I've seen floating around being that it won't be the same, but it'll be okay, or alternatively, it'll be okay, but it'll be different. Because when I first read the fic, I expected Izuku to get healed at the end and wake up, and he doesn't. He's still in a coma, but he's able to move with Aizawa. And so I found that message really important to keep in mind, and so it means a lot. And so I kind of rambled about that in the comment. And then at the end, I just asked if the author had any stance on podfics. And I've recorded podfics before, but I always got cold feet and I never posted them. So this felt like something meaningful to me personally. And also, because I asked for permission specifically, this was something that I was kind of stepping out of my comfort zone to do. The question, how did this podficking go? Any surprises, good or bad? Challenges? I think podficking this was very interesting, quite a lot of surprises as this is my first podfic. A couple things I would probably do differently. I recorded the audio for it all in one go. I was just on a roll and I sat down and I recorded like 3 or 4 hours of just raw audio. I wasn't originally expecting to do that, but I just kind of got into a roll, and I also didn't want to, I mean, I had a temporary setup at that point that I had to put up and tear down each time I wanted to record, and so I didn't want to have to tear it down and then reset it at that point because I had to move between buildings and it was a whole mess. Nowadays, I have a setup in my current room, which I'm happier about because it means I can just sit down and record and I don't have to cart all my stuff over to a different place and set it up and then take it down and try to make sure that everything is the same. Because a challenge that I found later on was that even though I recorded the audio raw, going back, if I had to make corrections, it was quite a bit of a challenge to make the audio match. I'd done the clicking to mark retakes, but there were still some areas where I misspoke and I didn't catch it. A couple times I messed up the names. and I needed to go back, and trying to match the sound of it was extremely difficult. Well, I mean, there's not much I could do about that. I could see just on the track that after about 2 hours or so of raw recorded audio, the number of mistakes and the frequency of those mistakes increased quite dramatically. So I now know I have about a limit of 2 hours before it just starts going downhill and I'm making more mistakes than actually usable audio. A good surprise was how supportive everyone was. I've been a longtime lurker in the Podfic chat Discord, and so there was a lot of people who were extremely helpful, and they have my eternal gratitude. Another surprise was how encouraging the original author was. I struck up a conversation about music choices, and that conversation has kind of expanded into a more general friendship, and I really appreciate that. One unexpected challenge of making this podfic was hosting. I was originally hosting on the Internet Archive, and as I was posting the chapters to this, the Internet Archive went down due to the cyber attack that they had. And so I had to scramble to find a place to rehost all my files. Eventually I found something that worked, but I think like a lot of other podfickers and people who listen to podfics, I was very, very happy when the Internet Archive came back up. So this is your friendly reminder that if you have a bit of extra change, to donate to the Internet Archive so they can keep hosting audio and also providing the services of the free internet library that they provide. A surprise that I wasn't expecting was the music. That was something that I'd originally expected to just kind of pick one song and stick with it as a sort of main theme. And then over time, all the songs that I was listening to, I figured out that I had enough song choices that I could go chapter by chapter. And so that was something that I was really not expecting. I'll talk more about the song choices at the end of this. How do I feel about the results? I feel pretty proud. I don't know if I necessarily would go back and listen to it just because I do have that, hearing my own voice played back is a little bit, I'm also pretty scared of finding a mistake or something that slipped past me. But as I'm talking through this right now, yeah, I might go back and re-listen to it. I'm very happy to have done it. I think there's some areas for improvement. I think I might eventually have to go back and equalize the audio. Originally, when I was rendering the audio, it was a little quiet, I think, and so about halfway through, I realized it and did some research into like audio loudness standards, and so like LUFS versus the other one. And I'm happier with the other ones, but the first couple of chapters are admittedly a bit quiet. How does this tie back into your other projects? Any previous ones it's relevant to mention? No, this is my first project. I think one of the things in terms of projects in general, one of the things that this is kind of the first of many, but also the first of many categories. So I made the cover art for this as well, and so I was a little nervous about that too. I really don't do digital, like, drawing art like that, and so it's definitely stepping out of my comfort zone. I was playing around with some of the settings, and eventually I found like the way to make things that look like they glow, and so it just kind of built itself a little organically. What do I want to do next? I'm recording this a little after I finished Lie Still and Break, so it's a secret. No, I want to continue making podfics. That's it for my commentary track. If you have any other questions that I haven't covered, please feel free to drop them in the comments or send me a message and I'll be happy to talk about it. Thanks for joining.